no way, guys, that Cliff and Ellen Elise are gonna be a thing after this episode. No shot! That's actually gonna happen! Oh no! We're about to watch Cliff get NTR'd the whole season? Oh god. It's freaking hilarious how she tells him, I'll try as hard as I can not to, okay? Like, what? No, Cliff needs to get out of there now, man, for his own safety. And our boy Badigadi this episode. Ooh, sounds like a luxury perfume name right there. I like him, though. I like his energy, man. This was a fun episode, actually, guys. So let's get straight into it and talk about Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 8 today. So our episode begins, as any day would, at the Magic Academy. Rudius feeling up his new pets. I mean, subordinate, Lenia, and they're getting a little bit rowdy inside the classroom. And it's in this moment, Cliff snaps and says, yo, I can't hear myself think. If you came to goof off, go home. And of course, Lenia wants to get into his face about this, like, what the hell did you just say? But Rudius says, no, hey, forgive us for disturbing your studies. We'll be quiet now. You see, our boy Cliff right here is very pent up, as you can tell. But it's here as we can transition to Cliff walking after school, and he notices a certain someone in the window right here. Let's just say, I think he found his release to his pent-up aggression. But it's here as we transition to our next scene as Rudius is just walking around the school. We actually see Cliff getting bullied here by 6 different people. Jump this man! As Rudius decides to step in and they instantly recognize him as Quagmire. As he tells them, I don't know what caused this, but only cowards fight 6 against 1, which is true. And it's here now that it's just Cliff and Rudius, you would think he'd snap at him, which we see he tries to do, but he actually decides to genuinely thank Rudy right here, which is good, honestly. As even Rudy figured he was gonna blow up on him like we all did. He's taken aback. And it's here we transition into Cliff literally stalking Rudius around the school. Really roundabout way to ask someone you want to talk to them, but okay, sure. Because eventually he does call out to him, but when we get to their meeting point, what he tells Rudy is not what I was expecting. As he says, you see, there's this girl I like. As Rudy's just like, huh? Where the hell did this come from? Does this man want me to deliver a love letter or practice asking her out? But it's here as Cliff points out who it is, and we see that it's Ellen Elise. I'm sitting here like, Cliff, don't do it, dude. Don't do it, man. Come on. Come on, don't hurt yourself like that. You don't need that in your life. As Cliff says, it's the lady in the window, Ellen Elise Dragon Road. Her name, beautiful yet bold, suits her perfectly. And as a former adventurer, she grasps the practicalities of magical combat. Oh, how I admire her! As Rudy's like, you don't say. And it's here, Cliff just had me on the ground rolling around laughing as he says, you know, those guys from yesterday were spreading scandalous rumors that she'd spend a night with any boy in the school. So I tried to stop them, but they beat my ass. As Rudy's just like, yeah, they're not lying. As Cliff says, would you, introduce me to her? You know her, right? And Rudius's face right here is exactly my face, dude. Like, ain't no way. So naturally, our boy Rudy has to go get some advice about love. And who does he go to? But Fitz, of all people, aka Sylphie. And naturally, she don't like hearing about this from him. As she says, do you have a crush on someone, Rudy? As Rudy says, no, it's for a friend. And just between us, it's Cliff, the special student. As Sylphie sighs the longest sigh of relief possible. As Rudy continues and says, you see, Cliff says he fell in love with someone at first sight. I know the person he fell for, but I am not too sure about introducing them. How do you think I should handle this wild situation? As Sylphie says, well, how do you feel about this woman? As Rudy tells her, I got nothing against her, but I'd never date her. Our boy knows better, guys. Not that he could if he wanted to anyway. And it's here Sylphie tells him, you know, just because you don't see her that way doesn't mean that Cliff won't. I, like someone myself, so I know how he feels. As Rudy's like, damn, you like someone? I wonder who that could be. As Sylphie concludes and says, I think you should introduce them, at the very least. And give this man a chance to express himself. And as we transition to our next scene, it's time to go to that meeting. As Ellen Elise in the classroom says, Rudy, what a surprise. You don't often call me for something. As Rudy tells Cliff, hey, I already warned you, but don't blame me for how this turns out. As Cliff says, naturally, I'm fully prepared for rejection. I'm ready. As Rudy introduces him to Ellen Elise. And then he introduces himself. As she's like, wow, how courteous you are. I'm Ellen Elise, Dragon Road. So what brings you to see me, Cliff? As Cliff's just brutally honest from the beginning, and he says, I've long admired your beautiful features. I beg you to consider a personal relationship with me. And immediately upon hearing this, Ellen Elise yoinks Rudy aside and asks him, how much did this kid pay you? As Rudy says, she thinks I'm here to pimp my upperclassmen? That's pretty low. But I could 100% see it happening too. As she says, Rudius, you know what I'm like. You should be ashamed of yourself bringing me a gullible boy like him. As Rudy tells her, I didn't trick him. I just gave him an introduction. I swear that on Master Roxy. That's how you know Rudius is telling the truth, guys. As Ellen Elise says, even if you are telling the truth, a boy that serious is a problem. Have you forgotten about my curse? I can't stick to just one partner. As Rudy says, in that case, you'll just have to turn him down. As she says, you're not going to mind that? That's not going to hurt you? Put egg on your face? As he says, no, but please be as truthful as possible. And it's here she goes and faces Cliff. She tells him, Rudius, you shouldn't spy on other people's love lives. Basically saying, hey, get the hell out. And as Rudius is leaving, Cliff literally says, Rudius, thank you. And I'm sitting here like, Cliff, don't thank this man. Please don't thank him for this. As we see, it's just the two of them now. But as we transition to our next scene, my face is just like Rudius's here. I can't believe it. As Rudy walks into class and sees they're all lovey-dovey now. Ellen Elise is just like, oh yeah, we've decided to become a couple. His proposal was so manly that it made even my heart skip a beat. As Rudy's like, congrats, but what about your curse? As she says, for Cliff's sake, I'll do my best to control myself from now on. As Cliff says, I won't let you suffer alone, darling. I swear I'll lift your curse. As she's like, oh, Cliff. And then they suck face. As Rudius is just like, yo, I want to cure myself and start making out with someone too. What the fuck? So RIP to Cliff's innocence, guys, because that shit is out the window now. But as we transition to our next scene, it's time for a different story. As we hear, apparently, beastmen and women fight duels in the fall, and the winners lead their families. It's their version of a marriage proposal. Basically, they're in heat. Which brings us to his furry-eared classmates. As Rudy says, Lenia and Persena are princesses of the Doldia tribe. Their whole race adores them, and they get inundated with suitors in the form of challengers. So they wrote to let me know that they won't be leaving the girls' dorm. As their note only reads, the rest is up to you. As Rudy's just like, what the hell do these girls want me to do? But as we transition to our next scene, we learn just what that means. As Rudy suddenly hears, I challenge you to a matrimonial duel. As we see a woman at first, and I'm like, okay. Then we see a man, and I'm like, boo. As Rudy's like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm good. No, thank you. But the man says, you have no right to refuse. I wrote to Lady Presena, and she informed me that you are the boss of her pack. Thus, you are duty-bound to accept all challengers. As Rudius is just like, those sneaky bitches. But our fight doesn't last too long, to say the least. And it's here as we transition to Sylphie meeting Rudy in the library. She says, I can't believe what's going on outside. What did you do? As Rudy's like, nothing, but apparently whoever beats me get to marry Lena and Presena. So we see a whole line of people here forming. As Rudy says, tournament full of unwashed men, here I come. Sylphie tells him, it's not all men. There's one girl out there. As Rudy's just like, what? She cute? And Sylphie just gives him a look like, yeah? Yeah? You want to keep telling me that? Gives this man the cold shoulder. But it's here as we transition to our next scene. We see all these suitors got their asses kicked. As we see a not at all threatening looking man say, to think they would challenge me. This University of Magic must attract stout-hearted fellows. And it's here as he notices Rudy, he says, that eye of foresight, you must be Rudius Greyrat. My fiancé, Kisharika Kisharishu, great emperor of the demon world, spoke of you. I am the demon god, demon king, Badigadi. Badigadi is such a ridiculous name, guys, but I really do like it a lot. It rolls off the tongue. As we see, he challenges Rudius to a duel. As Rudy's like, yeah, I don't get what's going on, but I guess. And it's here we transition to said duel, as Badigadi is like, do we gotta wait here? Rudius is like, forgive me. Someone's gotta go get my staff. Let's wait a bit. And it's here as they're waiting and they start talking, Badigadi brings up Kisharika, as Rudy says, I remember Her Majesty well. She bestowed this demon eye on me. As he says, she called you a marvel. I haven't seen her speak with such excitement in a long while. As Rudy tells him, I'm nothing special, but I might have a bit more mana than the next person. And Badigadi seems to love this answer as he tells Rudy, sit down, let's chat a bit. And as they sit down, he continues what he was saying as he says, more marvelous than Laplace, she called you. She's never said that of anyone else before, meaning that your mana capacity is among the greatest in the world. But that alone won't allow you to rival Laplace. As Rudy's like, man, maybe the man god hooked me up with some hacks or something. And it's here with that line of thought, Rudy decides to ask a dangerous question here, as he even asks if he's going to get hit before asking it. As he asks, have you ever heard of the man god? As he tells Rudy, where did you hear that name? And Rudy tells him, in my dreams. But it's here he tells Rudius, no, I don't know anything about him. Which I don't believe, personally, but we'll leave it at that. Because it's here we see that Sylphie ends up bringing his staff, so now their duel can begin. As Rudy says, Sir Badi, I have a request. Even if I lose, please spare my life. As he says, begging for your life before we begin? What a funny fellow. As Rudy says, my life's important. It's only been 2 years since a man known as the Dragon God nearly killed me. And this shuts Badigadi up. As Rudy realizes, I messed up. Is Orsted a sore spot for him? But instead, he actually tells Rudy, okay, I have a proposal for you. Strike me just once with your mightiest blow. If you wound me, you win. If not, I win. How does that sound? As Rudius tells him, I accept that. And as Rudius starts channeling his magic here, he says, back then, I was unarmed, one-handed, and panicking. But now I have time, so I'll put everything I have into this shot. And it's here we see Rudius has gotten stronger as he makes a giant drill with earth magic. As he tells Body, alright, get ready. And as he fires it at him, he shockingly sends him flying right here. Rudy's first thought is, oh shit, did I just kill him? Is he dead? But this man just gets back up basically saying, ha ha ha, 'tis a flesh wound, human. But we do see that 2 of his arms were actually blown off here. As he tells Rudius, you are triumphant, Rudy. You may call yourself a hero. As Rudy's like, I don't get what's happening at all, but I guess I won. As he's like, I'm the winner, yeah. But one thing he wasn't told about is that Badigadi gets a turn too. As he knocks the fucking brakes off Rudius right here. Good thing Sylphie's here to heal him. And it's here as we transition to our next scene. Presena tells Rudius, you know, thanks for looking out for us, Rudy. As a reward, you can feel up Lenia's chest. Which of course he does, and he gets smacked the shit out of, or scratched the shit out of, rightfully so. But as we suddenly hear bellowing laughter, we see that the immortal Demon King, Badigadi, has arrived. As it looks like he's gonna join Rudy's class. Like, what? Sure, why not? And with that, our episode ends. What a dysfunctional classroom this has become, guys. Good lord. You got Shinobu teaching Julie about figures and their wonders. You got Cliff and Ellen Elise damn near doing something in the classroom down at the corner. You got Presena and Linnea being pets, servants to Rudius. And now we got Badigadi just here flexing everywhere. Like, what is this classroom? What a ridiculous episode this was, but a fun one, guys. I had a great time with this. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on Mushoku Tensei Episode 8 down in the comments. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.